Welcome to Driven, the Unscripted Success podcast, with your hosts, Mike Manino and Nariman Hamden, bringing you insights and stories on achieving personal, professional, and financial success.
Hi, everybody. It's Michael Manino, and welcome to Driven Unscripted Success podcast. Today on the podcast, we're interviewing professionals who share their experience with you, the audience, and how they got to where they're at today. And zooming from the beautiful line, where are you at? Where are you at, Anthony?
Greenville, South Carolina.
Greenville, awesome. That's great. I work down the road. I'm in Columbia. Greenville, South Carolina is Anthony Tran. How you doing, young man?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
Better than I deserve. So Anthony's in security, and I'm not about to mess this up. We'll let him describe what he's done and how he got to where he's at today.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm a security systems sales engineer. Typically, that means that I take a customer's need for security systems. I look at the application and I put together a solution for them, price it out, propose it to them. So I'm kind of half engineer, half sales guy, right?
Half engineer, half sales guy. That's awesome. And how long have you been doing this? And tell me about the Coast Guard. First off, thanks for serving. We talked a little bit off camera, and you were in the Coast Guard for a period of time, or you still are? Is this reserved or?
Yeah, no. So I went to the Coast Guard Academy, and I don't wear this ball cap for myself. Really, it's for my classmates. So I wasn't able to finish my commission at the Coast Guard Academy, but all my classmates that continue to serve, and it's been about 20 years. So there are a few looking at retiring, and a few are still looking to make captain in a few years. And
really?
To recognize their service, really.
Awesome. That's fantastic. I made mention to you that my dad was in the Coast Guard, and he served and saw some crazy things. Talking about crazy things, we were just talking off camera about a situation where you put in a system and they were telling you they didn't need it or something like that.
Yeah, a lot of times the security systems are kind of an afterthought when it comes to building construction. Mm-hmm. I like to think we're kind of like the redheaded stepchild industry, but it's really necessary. We went to install a security system at a government building. It was a really comprehensive, 100% coverage of the perimeter of the exterior of the building. Not just the entrances, pretty much 360 coverage. And as we're installing the system, one of the customers was like, well, this is kind of overkill, isn't it? We really don't need to see all these parking spots all the time. And I was like, well, this is what you ordered. So we're going to put it in the best we can. And literally the day after we turned the system on, there was a perpetrator running from the police, decided to hop the fence into the federal parking lot.
That's a great idea.
Surrounding the building, right? And the camera system caught every step they took, that as they were, I guess, fighting the police and running away and scampering around. So all that got turned into evidence and led to a successful prosecution. So right after that incident, well, okay, so we see the value here now.
Right.
And it was just ironic.
Maybe you were right. Maybe it'll give you a little bit of maybe.
Right.
So in the video surveillance systems category, but you do a DoD and stuff like that. So you're in the how do I put this, in the governmental field? Is that correct?
Right. So we're a federal contractor. We do work for government, different verticals, different agencies within the government. We do work for DoD, DHS, Department of Homeland Security, VA hospitals, different agencies like that.
So what kind of things that you do that set you apart? What do you do? What comes easy to you and challenging to other people?
So growing up in the security industry, so I've been doing this since about 2008. Started as a cable puller, installer, programmer, help desk, remote support, project management, general management, and now I'm account executive, right? So I've kind of seen everything in the field. When I look at a door, it really gets down to specifics, right? Nitty-gritty. There are different ways to lock a door, different ways to unlock a door. Mm-hmm. And if you don't know what you're doing, you're just going to slap a mag lock in the door, which anyone in the security industry is going to say, no, that's the last thing you want to do. And so you need to approach it with the knowledge and experience that I'm going to lock this door, unlock it, and maintain life safety and security all at once.
Getting the right person to unlock the door and open and close the door at the right times. Is that a fair assumption?
That's right.
I remember I I was in construction and someone had to get in a lock one day, and I listened. I know how to get in a locker room one time, and I go, I know how to get in. I go, don't judge me.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times, sometimes security is just keeping honest people honest, right?
Right.
And so you got to look at it a multi-layer security solution. You can prevent people from accessing it. You can report people that have accessed it inappropriately. You record them doing it. So there's different layers of security.
That's I completely understand. I've noticed a lot of like hotels and I don't want to say big businesses are starting to go to the electronic locks. Is there some advantages and disadvantages to that?
You're talking about the lever sets, the wireless lever sets that have a accordion built into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are great. I mean, they're easy to deploy. There's not a lot of infrastructure that goes into it. And really the only downside is the battery life, but they've improved the battery lives, by instead of doing a motorized unlock, they're doing a clutch. And so there's no real motor involved in those anymore. So the battery drain's minimal.
Mm-hmm. So it just basically unlatches the latch and you manually open the door.
Right. So you turn the handle and then there's like a clutch in there that enables you to that handle to engage with the deadbolt.
How long is battery life on one of those?
You'd be surprised. There's some that go 2 years.
Really?
Depending on the amount of use. And then there's some that might only last, like a main entry door, right? You might get maybe three months out of it, depending on foot traffic. But that's not where you'd put a wireless lock set anyway.
Yeah, that's true too. If someone listening to us wants to get better at what you do, what tips and tricks and suggestions would you give them?
So there's a few websites that I like to go to. One's funny. It's called idighardware.com.
idighardware.com.
Yeah, it's like it's a forum. I think it's either a Legion or Assa Abloy that are editing and putting their editorial on there. But it's a great place to look at do's and don'ts. They insert a little humor here and there, but it's very informative, and that's really where I got a lot of my baseline. Once I found the website, I was like, man, I really got engrossed in door hardware and learned a lot.
I love some door hardware. We've built big buildings and beautiful houses and apartment complexes, and there's some hardware can do amazing things. I've done some secret rooms with hardware, so it's fun. It's a lot of fun. So, Anthony, what's one of the biggest challenges you had to overcome in your career? How'd you do it?
Oh, biggest challenge. I would say travel, right? So we've had projects where, you subcontract a company to perform the installation. You've got to monitor the work. You've got to manage it, make sure the quality's there. There have been times where I've had to go on site and live away from home for 3 months at a time. It doesn't seem like a long time for some industries, or really for the military to do that. But, when you don't expect it, it kind of pops up. It takes a toll, right? So that's a challenge. You got to find good partners to work with in managing the quality of work out in the field.
That's true. That's 100% true. Finding the right people and doing the right thing. Dealing with risk. Tell us about one of the times you rolled the dice and it really worked out for you?
Yeah. So, let me think. So risk. I took a risk at jumping in and quoting a project that was kind of like, you could say more or less undetermined what the field conditions were, right? So every time you quote a project, a lot of times you want to go out there, do a site walk, look at the field conditions, look at the existing conditions, see what it's like, because that's going to affect the price of the project, right? How much effort?
Right. You have to understand that. Yeah.
How much of a mess?
Related.
Yeah. How much of a mess are we going to go into? So.
How much of a mess? That's a good.
Yeah. So there was a hospital where we were ripping and replacing a security system. We were asked to, and I was like, well, we don't really have the opportunity to go out there and look at every door controller, the field cabling infrastructure. And I don't have the budget, or they don't have the budget for me to quote, 100% worst case scenario. So
Right.
I really had to balance my expectations with how we can do this in an economical fashion, while at the same time covering the risk. And so, I quoted something based on just industry standard, and I made some assumptions, right?
You have to in every business.
Right. Made some assumptions that seemed like a good assumption to make. And it panned out. It was like a $500,000 contract, but it could have gone sideways really quickly because it's a very tight budget, and we replaced an entire hospital system's worth of access control.
Wow.
It was over 200 doors, 200 card readers, and their video surveillance head end, which was about 300 cameras. So
300 cameras, 200 doors, $500,000.
Yeah, well, we used the existing cameras. We replaced all the head end, right? So the servers and the workstations. But that was super tight, very tight budget, and we were able to get it done, and we got it done on time and got it done on budget. But that was one of the ones where I had to go out there and supervise directly, right? So when you are in a risky situation, you can't just go hands off and wish for the best. You've got to be pretty hands on. I'm not saying micromanage, but really manage the process and make sure that things aren't going sideways. Because if it starts to slip and you're not there to catch it, it's a long hill.
It falls faster, doesn't it?
Exactly, accelerates.
When it falls fast.
Absolutely.
Tell me about leading teams. You're talking about when you're out there watching. It has its challenges. What is the leadership style, and can you give us an example of how it helped you through tough times?
Sure. Yeah. Well, my buddy, one of my project managers. He's I guess you could say he's a Boy Scout leader, and he's kind of taught me a lot of things about how the Boy Scouts lead and train. Right. So you're gonna tell somebody how to do something, and then you show them, and then you let them show you under direction, and then you let them do it on their own. So I kind of like to follow that guide as a way to transfer ownership of a task to somebody who may or may not know going into it. So that particular goes also with, they might know how to do a thing, but they don't know what we're doing. So transferring the scope of work to ownership to somebody else who's expected to execute it. So it's not a micromanagement thing, but it's a soft handoff, and that's
it's a systems and process to get somebody to learn.
Sure.
Yeah, I that's a lot like what I do too, and that's very good. I like that. I like that a lot. Sounds like things are going pretty well for you. And thinking about the future, have you ever considered ways to create income that doesn't require so much hands-on stuff?
I have, and so thinking about starting your own business, starting about hiring the people to do the work for you, and I think that the position that I was in, I was in a position to open up a company with a buddy of mine a few years ago. I was in a really rough transitional phase with our company and my family. Like, we were just having a little girl. And,
ooh, congratulations.
I was like, well, I think I need more security. And,
you're a security guy that needs more security. I like that. That's
right. As opposed to being, I was a little risk averse at the time. But I did support my friend in starting his business. I supported him and I helped him, and they're doing very well. So I'm happy for him. And, one day maybe you might be able to invest to become a partner or start my own spinoff.
But if you don't mind me asking, can we talk about the business?
Yeah. Oh, it's a security system. Right. So so my friend opened up with his brother, he opened up a small service disabled veteran-owned small business. And awesome. He took the lessons that he learned while we worked together at Pavillon, and he's doing security system installations in the federal space as well.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, listen, thank you very much for the interview. Appreciate it. Give me some exciting things you're going to do for the next 6 to 12 months.
Oh, man. So big things, like, I guess we would say non-business related, is okay. I help coach a paintball team here in Greenville, South Carolina. And this paintball team, a bunch of kids, local here, they call themselves the Rice and Beans, and they're doing really well. When they first started last year, they swept the series at the beginner division. Right?
Really?
They've got a lot of aptitude, and just natural talent. And so I see that aptitude, and I'm like, let's train, let's sharpen the steel, and let's get you guys at the top of your potential. And so they're really ready to absorb and listen and gain knowledge. And they've gotten better and better every time we play together, every time I coach them. And I think we're coming up. We're going to play a big tournament. I want to say either October or November. There's a big tournament coming up, and they're going to prove their medal.
Oh, congratulations, dude! That's a lot of fun. I love paintball. It's a kind of cool sport. It's a little crazy cool.
It is. It's crazy. It's chaotic. But it really it's very team heavy, right? Very communication heavy, more than anything else. I mean, if you can't communicate as a team, then you're not going to succeed. So,
isn't that in business too?
In everything, right? In everything, in business, relationships, communication is number one. And so,
sports, anything.
You got to know what's going on if you can react to it. So,
all right. Hey, listen, thank you very much. I'm wondering if anybody would like to get in contact with you, Anthony, how would they do that?
Yeah. So, I've got let's see. I'm on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn, Anthony Tran. On Facebook, Anthony Tran.
There you go. Make it easier for everybody.
Yep. And then you can access my, pavion.com, pavion.com is our website. You can access our company through there and put in a request, and we can get you whatever you need.
All right. Sounds good, Anthony. I appreciate your time, and everybody wants to talk to Anthony, please hit him up. Thanks for being on the podcast. And if everybody else listening could like and subscribe, we really appreciate it. It helps out the channel. Thank you very much, Anthony.
Thanks, Michael.
Thanks for listening to Driven, the Unscripted Success Podcast. Want to share your story? Apply to be a guest at drivensuccesspodcast.com/guest.